Hey guys, it is May 1st, Sunday, and I am just recording this and posting it. Sorry, we got in a little bit later than normal and everything did not go quite as planned. So thank you for your patience, and sorry if you were waiting for the link to the call and I had you waiting around for a little while. I apologize for that. I will be more careful with my timing in the future. So I'm going to jump right in. And first, we're going to recap April. So if you guys don't know, we had a huge month. And if you, like I posted in the group, are not friends with a bunch of Arbonne people on Facebook, you should be. Just start adding them when you hear their names. And you probably know by now or have heard or whatever that last month for Arbonne was like huge. I will be really surprised if they don't send an email out saying that that was the biggest month for the entire company ever. So I'd be really interested to hear what the sales were and all of that, because I have seen a lot of NVPs who hit like huge milestones, like Linda Parker's success line hit 10 million. Wow. And there were several different NVPs who were hitting certain things in $1 million that they've never done before, which was really awesome to read and kind of experience with them, and be able to join in on the excitement. So anyways, it was a big month for us too, and our total volume with everyone was just shy of $32,000. So as you can tell, that's really creeping up on region. So that's really exciting, and everyone is just blowing it out of the water. Anyway, so it was awesome. We had a lot of promotions, and we have a lot of in-quals and a lot of bonuses, and we'll post recognition into the group probably tonight or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow or Monday, whenever I can check and verify that I'm getting all the names right. Or getting everyone on there and don't leave anybody off. But anyway, so congratulations to everyone who has either promoted or is in qualification or bonused or whatever. It was a great month. So I'm excited to continue going. We got to keep our momentum going. And it is just across the board, guys. I do not want to miss out. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be watching from the sidelines whenever all of our sidelines are celebrating their success at the end of May and June and July. I want to just keep on going with them, so we can do this. With that, I want to talk to you about personal growth, and this is one of those things that sometimes some of us hear it and we're like, yeah, I know I need to do that, but I just don't. So this will hopefully motivate you to a little bit. I will start by saying the very first car presentation I ever went to, I think, yes, that new regional vice president shared that what was a game changer for her was really buckling down and getting into her personal growth. So typically what that consists of is reading books. We have lists and lists and lists of good books, and I'm going to talk to you about the one that I'm reading right now, and then, training calls from VPs, stuff like that. Basically just keeping your mind in the game every single day. So it sounds, kind of blah, but Bethany Jones talks about it a lot, and she even posted something about it tonight. I think on their call they talked about how the brain is a muscle and you have to exercise it. And so that's pretty much what personal growth does, is to help you exercise the part of your brain that tells you, that you can succeed or you can't succeed, or whatever you're telling yourself. So it is a lot more important than what it sounds. It seems kind of goofy, or just like it doesn't seem like it's, I guess, really doing anything when you're doing it because you're just reading a book. But you'd probably change your mind fairly quickly, because they start to make me feel like I'm on top of a mountain, and I can do anything. So, anyway, you will hear that all along the way. Everyone who has made it anywhere will tell you that personal growth is extremely, extremely important. And I'm not coming from a place of telling you that I've been completely perfect with mine. And honestly, it's probably just gotten started back recently to where it's being habitual and intentional. So, I'm definitely not getting onto anyone, and if I am, I'm getting onto myself too. So, definitely consider stocking up on some books if you don't have some. If you want to listen to calls, so you can always search YouTube or SoundCloud. You can usually find VP calls. Usually they'll post their own calls. Some of them will have private pages, but a lot of them do not have private pages. So you can listen to their team calls and their recordings. So anyway, your thoughts can really get away from you. And a lot of times you really have to keep some of those thoughts captive. And if you've never heard this quote before, just remember it. What you think about, you bring about. So those are kind of the things like, what are you walking around telling yourself? I'm not proud of some of the things that I was telling myself toward the end of this month. I'm happy to say that I turned that around and it showed. But are you, do you accept defeat? Do you have 5 months or 5 days left in the month and you say, well, I'm $1,000 short of my goal, so I guess it's just not going to happen. Let me do the math for you. That's like 3 fit kits plus an outside, like a 150 order. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I never have people in the boot camps. Just get it started, continue talking about it, and you will have people in the boot camps. And then once you have those people in the boot camps, those will be the people that you can call for that extra 150 order. And so, anyways, don't accept defeat just because you don't have any parties left or you don't have anyone on your team, whatever the reason may be. That doesn't mean that that specific goal cannot happen. I can tell you right now, if you think you can move the mountain, you can move the mountain. If you attempt to move the mountain, you're going to move the mountain. You may not necessarily it may not look the way that you thought it was going to look when it does happen, but it will happen if you're going out and you're trying to make it happen. I have seen it happen so many times before myself, and it's just really something that I can't really describe to you. You're just going to have to trust me and get into the personal growth and be able to reap the benefits from it. So, the book I am currently reading is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So, kind of funny thing about this book is last year for my birthday, if you don't know, Gina is my aunt. So I get birthday presents from her MVP. Sorry. But anyways, I just told her that I wanted books, for my birthday. So yeah, I'm 27 and my aunts and uncles still give me birthday presents. I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I'm not going to complain. But anyway, so I was pretty practical with my gifts. I wanted books, and books are expensive. I mean, but Amazon's good. But anyway, so I had this book and I had heard that it was really good. I'd heard good stuff about it. And I think last year, so a year and a couple months ago would have been when I got it. And I started with reading the preface, and it was so boring, and I did not read any beyond that. So I just so happened to last week come into my office and be like, I need a book to read. And I saw that one and I was like, I'll try to read it. I've heard it's good. So basically, now I don't want to put it down because I went ahead and skipped the preface and jumped into chapter 1, and I love it. So basically, and I can't say basically and, give you the entire summary because there's a lot of good stuff in that book, but some of the things that I've taken away from it already, I think I'm only on the 5th chapter. I'm hoping to finish that one tonight. A lot of what the book talks about is you get what you ask for out of life. So I posted the thing on Facebook the other day that was kind of the story about the penny. I'm just going to read it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but basically it was talking about a guy who asked for something and he got exactly what he asked for, and then later on found out that if he had just asked for more, he would have gotten exactly what he asked for. So that's a lot about what the book is about. And then it's also about pretty much pretending that you're already successful and it's it's centered on finances, so it talks a lot about choosing the amount of money that you wish to acquire, and talking about imagining that you already have that money. So I've kind of tweaked a little bit of it, and I just imagine, like, imagine that I'm already an ENVP as opposed to X amount of dollars that I want to accomplish. Because that goal is going to help me accomplish any kind of financial goal that I do have. So I've kind of just put in my own little thing right there, but that's the only thing. I'm by no means an author, so don't start trying to change the whole book or anything. That's just what I've been thinking instead of focusing on an amount of money. So let me find this thing. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is just an employer, he gives you what you ask, but once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial hire, only to learn, dismayed, that any wage I had asked of life would have willingly paid. So, that's kind of, the gist of the book. It tells you that you can basically get anything that you set out to get, and to attain, which is awesome. I mean, if that's the only thing that's in your way is not asking for something, then that's amazing, because we can probably all agree that we can ask for stuff, right? So, oddly enough, the sermon at church this morning was just all about pretty much the same stuff about how, God opens doors and we pretend we can't go through them, or, we underestimate what God can do. We think, oh, I can't possibly do that, So if you guys aren't aware, or if you hear the joke that says, if you're needing your sign, here it is. This is it. If you are in Arbonne and if you're taking the time to listen to this call, your door is open. So ask for guidance to get through it. And just be willing to go through it, and just trust that God is going to take you through it, because he's the one who opened this door. So just think of it that way. It's not, it is something that you're being called to do. So get away from scarcity thinking. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, it's easy to think like, oh, nobody's following me on my team, so I don't have to do any of the work. It's not like my numbers are going to make a big difference for me anyway. I'll do this whenever I have a team. I'll do this as soon as I have my Mercedes. I'll do that. I'll be more organized once I have an office. I'll wake up and go to yoga once I'm an MVP. That's, I mean, I'm not going to point any fingers, but I've kind of been guilty of stuff like that. I'll be more mindful of my time, or responsible with my time when I'm an MVP. I'll be more, I don't know, you name it. If you have some kind of excuse that ends with when I am, or when I have, or once I do this, then cut it out. Just start acting like you're already in that position. And that sounds a lot more fun anyways. It's kind of like people who daydream all day about unicorns or something. Just pretend that you already have the success that you want, and it's going to be more exciting in your head anyways. So, don't know if that sounds crazy, but there it is. So, anyway, scarcity thinking. Don't get caught up in thinking like, no one's following me, yada yada, because if you have that attitude, no one's going to follow you. And if you're thinking like no one's following you, so you don't have to go through the motions, like going to the meetings, or going, oh, no one's going with me, so I'm not going to go, or I'm not going to take the time to read right now because no one else is reading on my team because I don't have a team. You have to do all of these things in order to attract the people that are going to come and do this. They're probably not going to be attracted to you if you're just kind of, so it does make a difference. I can't really explain all the ways that it works or how, but it does. So, let's see. Okay, just imagine if you were already an MVP. How would that change your day? So for me, I have thought before pretty much all the things I just listed to you, how I'd be more responsible of my time in the mornings. I really drag around. Ryan will sleep in late, so it makes it, I just want to stay in bed. I just want to sleep in. And my alarm goes off, and I just get tired, and I just want to hit snooze, and I tell myself that Ryan wakes me up at night, so I'm just more tired than everyone else, yada, 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 we've all got them. We've all got the excuses. So anyway, those are some of the things that I've told myself. And so now that I've kind of started thinking from a perspective of like, what would I do differently in the mornings if I were already an ENVP? If I had 1,000 people in my downline, what would I do differently in the morning? And that's already kind of made me go, oh, I would probably do things a lot different than what I do right now. So I've kind of started to try to get into some different types of habits and pretty much acting as if that has already happened. And Linda Parker has joked before in trainings about how she woke up and she was a team of one, or she said sometimes you just have to give your team a pep talk in the morning. And she said, and sometimes that's just you with yourself in the mirror. So, it doesn't matter if you have one person, or no people, or 10 people, whatever is happening, just pretend in your mind that you already have this success. So like right now, I'm pretending that 100 people are waiting on this video and they're going to watch it, and it is going to help them all, with something. It's going to speak to all 100 of those people in some way. So, anyway, start thinking things like that. So some of the questions I wrote down are, how would that change your habits? This is saying like if you were already an ENVP. How would that change your habits? How would that change what you do when you wake up? How would it change how you wake up? I mean, what kind of mood are you in? Would it change the things that you do upon waking? And would it change how you work your business? That's probably a good question for a lot of us there. Would you work differently if you were an ENVP? Would you talk to people more confidently if you were an ENVP? Well, guess what? You got to talk to those people to get there. So just tell yourself that you're an ENVP. Those people don't know just because you don't have the Mercedes, just because you don't have the $20,000 paycheck. Nobody knows about those. They probably don't believe they're real anyways at first. So don't worry about that. They don't know how successful you are or how not successful you are. And really, you may think it's cliche, but the only way to fail is to quit. So you are successful. You have reached some success. The only thing standing in your way is yourself. So start talking to people from a place of, I have a gift that I can offer to people. If you knew that your friend had a lottery ticket that won $1 million, would you call them and tell them? Yes, you would. So treat Arbonne the same way. You know that this can help. So it's important to tell people that you think could benefit from it. So anyways, I already told you about some of the things that I've told myself before. Before we moved, I said that whenever I had an office, I would wake up and be a lot more organized because I would have my own space, yada, yada, whatever. And I can tell you that having a room has not been the reason for anything I've done, and I definitely didn't just jump right into any kind of good habit. So don't tell yourself stuff like that. If you don't have an office, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a website, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the Mercedes, it doesn't matter because you're going to. So anyways, none of that work requires all of those things. Some things are just a convenience. I have a printer now. I worked for 2 years. I worked my business 2 or 3, I don't know how long time without a printer. I was having to print stuff off secretly at my job at the bank. So you can make it really far without having, all of these things that you imagine that an MVP has to have. So just quit telling yourself stuff like that. And So along with personal growth, that's why meetings are really important. It's important to keep your focus forward and to keep yourself plugged in. It's really easy even to go from like the day after a meeting, you can get something, and there doesn't even have to be anything specific happen, but you can just start feeling like down, like, this is not going how I want it to go, yada yada. That's why it's important to keep plugged in, keep connected, get in your sponsor's back pocket until you get to a place where you can, on your own, kind of fight off those fears and things that come into your head. And then, every second we're thinking something, right? So it's, 1 minute I can be on top of the world, the next minute maybe I get a little bit tired, a little bit cranky, a little bit hungry, and then I'm, poor pitiful me. So just kind of keep those things in check, kind of think about all that stuff. And I'm telling you right now that it's hard to do on your own unless you have trained your brain how to do it. So the personal growth is really important. If after you after you listen to this, you need a suggestion for a good book to read, then post on the group and ask me. Excuse me, it's late, but I posted a picture or a list. It's been a while since I posted it. I'll try to find it in the history and reshare it, but if I don't get that, then just post on here and ask what books are good to read, because I've read, I have some pretty good suggestions, and I'll try to find that list. So anyways, if you want one to start with, Think and Grow Rich is good, and Failing Forward is one of my favorites by John Maxwell. But anyways, so it's important to get into this stuff on a routine basis. And I've been trying to read a chapter a day out of this book, and it has like changed just the way that I'm thinking about just the smallest things. Like, I'm not, I may get down and blah about something, but it's a lot easier for me to bounce back and be like, okay, no, this is up to me. So anyway, like I already went over, just start acting as if your goals are already accomplished. So if you would like to do a conference call with your whole team of 1,000 people, then do it. I'm just going to pretend in my head that there are 1,000 or a ton of people who are waiting to hear the things that I have to say, or that are following me, or that we're all learning and growing together, because that's the ultimate goal, and that is going to happen. So I'm just going to pretend that it already has, so I will be more magnetic to everyone who's going to come into my business. So anyways, you really will be amazed if you take what I'm saying and apply it. And like I said, it would be hard to really just take what I'm saying without training your brain with one of those books, but you would be amazed. Like, sometimes, as long as you're willing to do the work and you strive and you try, it's like the volume and like the activity and whatever just comes out of nowhere. And sometimes it doesn't look anything like what you thought it would look. It's crazy. I just can't even really explain it. You just never know where it's going to come from. It just comes whenever you put forth the effort, you have a willing heart, and you don't quit, don't give up, and you believe that it's going to happen. You may say, I don't have a clue how this is going to happen, but it is going to happen. And if you believe that, like really believe it, it's going to happen. So anyways, that's pretty much all I have for tonight. So basically just take authority over your thoughts and get started on some personal growth. Really, if someone tells you, which I am telling you right now, but if someone tells you all that stands between you and reaching your goals is reading a chapter out of a book every day, would you do that? I would. Like, hands down, hello, that's easy. Yes, I would. I will go to a meeting once a month. I will read a book every day if that's what happens. Hello. And I will ask, the thing I read, ask for what you're wanting. So anyways, that's what I've got for tonight. And I hope you guys got something from it, because I'm really excited, and this book has really just put me in a really good place in the past week and a half since I've been reading it. and I was excited to share. So anyways, I will talk to you next time. Good night.